There's at least 3 police cars and a couple of vans up there. Tom Briggs came out looking very white around the gills, so it's obviously more than a bit of vandalism.
Hello?
Some bugger's done away with Colin Arnold.
Good God.
Aye, well, I don't think it was him, in spite of that sacrilegious so-and-so's plans for the church.
So what are you saying?
Just that we need to remind the police that most murders are domestic.
And not connected to plans for economic revival. Is that your point?
Couldn't have put it better myself. And if I'm not mistaken, you've got a meeting to get to.
You were right about it not being a bit of vandalism. Colin Arnott's been murdered.
Well, there's a surprise. What do we know about the victim?
Colin Arnott, 43, an arts administrator, whatever that is. Project manager for Village SOS.
Ah, Village SOS?
A way of spending other people's money as far as I can make out.
Money. Always a tasty motive. Who found the body?
His wife. Well, his widow, I suppose, if you're going to be pedantic. Kyling Arnott.
Doesn't sound very Northumbrian.
He was, though. The victim. Local lad originally. Came back to his roots last year, complete with the Chinese wife from his last job in Hong Kong.
Where is she now?
Inside the church. If it still counts as a church.
Mrs. Arnott? I'm Detective Chief Inspector Bettany, and this is Detective Sergeant Hodgson. I'm very sorry about your husband.
That makes 2 of us round here, then.
It's our job to find out who did this, Mrs. Arnott. To find justice for your husband. We'd like to
You'll not find justice for Colin in this village. All he wanted was to make life better for them. But you'd have thought he was the enemy the way they treated him.
Well, how did they treat him?
He was trying to revive Shilwick. It's on its last legs. Anyone can see that. But some people would rather die than change. Or they'd rather Colin died. Obviously.
We'll need to take a full statement from you later. But it would be helpful if we could ask you a few questions now. Do you feel up to that?
If it helps you to find the monster who did this to Colin, I can manage.
Thank you. Now, the doctor says Colin's been dead for several hours. Can you tell me when you last saw him?
We were in the village pub last night.
It's not too late, Tilly. The council change their minds once, they can change them again. I'm not giving up.
You're wasting your time, Marcus. Colin Arnott's a blue-eyed boy. The Village SOS Grant Committee loved him in his stupid performing arts centre. The planning committee will just roll over.
All the same, I'm still going to the meeting.
Pint of bitter and a sparkling mineral water, Peter. At the planning meeting you're on about, Marcus?
Someone has to stand up for local businesses, Colin.
There won't be any local businesses if we don't do something drastic.
So how exactly do you see your performing arts centre creating local jobs? You think Bob Brandison's going to set himself up making ballet shoes? Or perhaps they're all going to retrain as musical instrument makers?
There's no need to be so smart-ass, Marcus. Not unless you can come up with an alternative that's a bit more creative than more holiday lets. All your business does is turn the village into a winter ghost town like Beadnell.
Not now, Colin. Come and sit down. I'll bring the drinks over.
Right.
We couldn't even have a quiet drink without someone trying to wind him up. I managed to get him away from Marcus Francis, but by the time I brought the drinks over, he was arguing with Bob Brandison. I shooed him away, but then Angela Bryman had to speak her mind. What is it about religious people that makes them so sure they're always right?
I suppose they think they've got God on their side. What time was this?
It was, after 10. We'd been working here, taking some last-minute photos before we went to the pub. Then Colin realised he'd left the architect's drawings back at the church. We can stop off in the morning and pick them up on the way to the meeting.
You know me, Ped. I need to check them one last time before I can get off to sleep. I'll go back for them. You just go on ahead and get yourself to bed. You look as knackered as I feel.
Don't be long then. No stopping for a chat with every late dog walker in the village.
I'll try, but you know me. Can't help myself. It's the personal touch that convinces people, not leaflets through their doors or posters in the shop window. I'll see you at home.
And that was the last time I saw him. I went straight home and got ready for bed. I have trouble sleeping, so I took one of those pills you can buy from the chemist. They knock me out. I wish they'd knocked me out for good, so I never had to see this.
I understand. So, the first you realised your husband hadn't come home was when you woke up this morning?
I panicked. Colin never stayed out all night. Never. And he had the planning meeting this morning. I tried his mobile, but it went straight to voicemail. So I got dressed and I drove straight up to the church.
You drove up? Where do you live?
Just at the other end of the village. But I was scared something had happened. That he'd been taken ill or something and I'd have to take him to hospital.
Well, surely you'd call an ambulance if he was ill.
Round here? Only if you had an hour or two to kill. And I was in a state about the time, too. The planning meeting this morning. Oh, God. The meeting? Somebody needs to tell them.
Tell who? What? What's going on here? Police cars in the road and the main door all cordoned off. Kyling, what have you two done now? And who are you?
I have done nothing. This is Police Detective Inspector Bettany of Northumbria Police.
And I could ask you the same question, sir.
I've got every right to be here. I'm Tom Briggs, United Reformed Church caretaker. This is my church.
And how did you get into the church?
I've got keys, you know. I came in through the vestry like I always do.
We'll need your keys for now, Mr. Briggs. What? Sergeant Hodgson.
What do you mean you need my keys? I'm not handing my keys over without the say-so of the church council.
There's been an unexplained death here, Mr. Briggs. Huh? I need your keys. You'll be given a receipt.
A death?
Colin's dead, Tom. Somebody killed him.
Killed him? You must have made a mistake, Kyling. It must have been an accident, surely. People don't kill each other in Shilling.
They do now. And don't pretend you're sorry. You've been against us from the start.
There's no need to be like that, Kyling. Of course I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't think so. And now Colin's gone, your precious empty church can go on being a pointless empty church, instead of somewhere good things happen.
That's no way to talk about this building. People have been baptised here, married here, had their last farewells here. It means something to Shilling folk.
Oh, it's not even a church anymore. The church is in the past. What Colin wanted was the future.
You come here, no connection to the place, no sense of our history, and think you know what's best for us.
Mr. Briggs.
This church stands for something. Something more than a blooming performance arts centre ever will.
If we
you
could just...
silly old man. Even though Colin's given his life for it, you still can't show respect for someone who wanted to save your village.
Save the village? Make a few bob for himself, more like.
Sergeant, why don't you take Mrs. Arnott home? This isn't the best place for her to be right now. And you can make a start on taking her statement.
I want to be here with my husband.
I understand. But if you're going to catch the person that did this, there's things we need to do here. And I'm sure you wouldn't want to be an hour away.
Mr. Briggs, the keys?
I'm not happy about this.
Come on, Mrs. Arnott. Let's get you back home. Get a cup of tea down you.
All right, I'm coming. But you ask him who's the one that's really bothered about money.
What do you suppose Mrs. Arnott meant by that, Mr. Briggs?
Who knows what she means about anything? She's not one of us. She's got no idea what matters to folk round here. I tell you, when Colin Arnott came back to Shilling, I was glad to see him. I always liked Colin when he was a lad, but this daft idea of his has turned the place on its head.
You'll have to forgive me, Mr. Briggs. I've just arrived here in Shilling and I don't know the ins and outs of Mr. Arnott's project. Could you maybe fill me in?
The BBC and Big Lottery came up with this idea to fund projects in places like Shilling. Villages that are struggling to keep viable. Well, we used to have a pit here, but that went with Thatcher and her bully boys. There's a bit of fishing, but that's all. We're not picturesque like Low Newton and Almouth, so we don't get many tourists. The pub, the post office, they're on their last legs.
I know what you mean. Shilling's not a place I've ever brought the kids for a day out.
So, Colin had this bright idea. See, next door to here, there's a hostel that was built by the union so they could give miners' bairns a seaside holiday. It's been standing empty for years. Colin reckoned he could turn the church into a performing arts centre and do up the hostel so folk could come on residential courses. Well, they'd have to rely on that, wouldn't they? There's not many round here want to improvise opera.
I take it there was a certain amount of opposition then.
You could say that. Plenty of folk thought Colin was just feathering his nest, and she was egging him on.
What'll happen now?
Well, they'd set up a so-called community group. But really it was just Colin and Kai Ling and one or two of the parish council that jump on every bandwagon that goes past. But that was enough to get the grant agreed. The council planning committee was supposed to be rubber stamping it all this morning. I've no idea what'll happen now. All his opponents will turn up, but there'll be no Colin to argue his corner now, will there?
And what about you, Mr. Briggs? How would this project affect you if it went ahead? Presumably there wouldn't be any need for you as a caretaker if the building was being used regularly.
That's not the point, is it? It's not like I need the pittance they pay me for looking after the building. It's the principle. This is a church, the Lord's house. It's not for song and dance routines.
How often is it used?
Yeah, well, actually, it's not a church anymore. It was deconsecrated 3 years ago.
But you're still the caretaker.
Somebody has to look after it, or it'd just fall to rack and ruin. It's my job to keep it up to scratch. I'd like to think they could walk back in tomorrow and hold a service just like in the old days. Because it still feels like a house of God.
So was Mr. Arnott going to buy the building?
No, the church agreed to let him have a long lease with an option to buy after 5 years. But that doesn't make it right.
You've been very helpful, Mr. Briggs. If you'd like to leave by the main door, you can give your address and phone number to the uniformed officer with the clipboard. He'll give you a receipt for the keys.
All right.
We'll be in touch. Oh, and Mr. Briggs. When did you last see Mr. Arnott?
He was in the pub last night with his wife, along with half the village. He was still there when I left.
Blunt force trauma to the top of the head. You can see where the skull's taken the blow.
Well, some force. You can see the shape of the weapon.
True, but it might not have been down to strength. This is what he used. Not this precise piece, obviously. The CSIs have got that bagged up already. But it was a piece of this old cast-iron drain pipe that did the damage. The downpipe's been replaced with plastic, probably quite recently. The old pipes were just left here against the wall.
Oh, that's heavy.
And get that up in the air and gravity will do the rest.
But you still have to be pretty strong to lift it up far enough.
Try it. Oh, for heaven's sake, Marion, careful. You're not tossing the caber.
And they said that being made up to DCI meant I wouldn't have to get my hands dirty. I see what you mean about the gravity thing, though. So you reckon the killer was taller than the victim?
That would be the obvious conclusion.
So that rules the wife out.
Except for one thing. The knees of his jeans have got fresh dirt on them. If he was kneeling down, the question of height becomes irrelevant. You can't rule anybody out on that basis. Not even the wife.
In spite of all the TV shows where the homicide rate in English villages is higher than it is in Los Angeles, it's still hard to imagine a violent murder happening in a place like Shilly.
You ask me, it's hard to imagine anything happening in a place like this. It's been dying on its feet for the last 25 years. Can you imagine living here?
Would be my first choice. But for the people who do live here, whatever happens here matters. You know, we might think it's trivial, but to them it's a big deal. Colin and Kyling Arnott were driving a project that could make big changes round here, and that's unsettling.
You think that's a motive for murder?
Maybe. But right now, I'm more concerned with the practicalities.
Means and opportunity.
Exactly. We've got the means. There's no doubt about that. Colin Arnott died because somebody clattered him over the head with a cast iron drain pipe. What I want to know is who had the opportunity. Who knew he was going back to the church after the pub and who doesn't have an alibi.
Well, the wife's the obvious one on that count.
Well, you took her statement. How did she seem to you?
Angry. She's convinced somebody killed him to stop the Performing Arts Centre in its tracks. And I didn't see much grief. Yeah, maybe it's a cultural thing.
Oh, well, maybe it's her way of coping. Not everybody lets it all hang out. Did she tell you who else could have known Colin was going back to the church?
There's quite a list. Marcus and Tilly Francis, they run a holiday letting business. Angela Bryman from the post office. Tom Briggs, the chapel caretaker.
I get the picture. Half the village by the sound of it. Right, let's start with the first ones you mentioned, the ones with the posh names.
Marcus and Tilly Francis. They're the proprietors of Hotspur Holidays. They manage holiday lets all over Northumberland, mostly on the coast. 30-somethings. They've probably got granite worktops in the kitchen.
Let's go and see why Kai Ling thinks they had it in for her husband, eh?
But why do you want to talk to us? It's obvious Colin must have interrupted some burglars or vandals.
Not to us, it's not.
Why do you say that, Mr. Francis?
Because I know the people of this village. This is not how we settle our differences.
But you did have your differences with Colin Arnott.
You make it sound like we were bitter enemies, Chief Inspector. Just because we didn't agree on some things didn't mean we weren't friends.
We're all adults after all.
I understand you had words last night in the pub.
Words? Maybe a couple of 100 words max, before Kyling sent him off to sit down. We didn't have a row, if that's what you're getting at.
The planning committee was supposed to pass the plans for the church and the hostel this morning. We simply remarked that we were going to be present to put an alternative point of view.
And what was that alternative point of view?
Tourism is the only future for Shillick, and tourists need specialist accommodation. We had plans to buy the Miners' Union hostel and convert it into luxury apartments. Our offer had been accepted, but then Colin came along waving his grant money under their noses, and suddenly we were cast out into the wilderness.
That would have made me feel a lot less friendly.
It's a small community here, officer. We try to keep our professional lives separate from our personal relationships.
All the same.
It was so unfair. Our plan would have brought real money into the village. The sort of people who come on performance arts courses aren't interested in spending money locally. They're busy doing their courses, not going out and about to sample what the area has to offer.
You must have been bitterly disappointed.
I won't deny it was a setback, but we hadn't entirely given up. We marshalled our arguments for the planning committee. We were going to give Colin a run for his money.
The meeting was this morning, wasn't it?
Yes.
Do you know what happened?
It was really very unsatisfactory. We turned up to put our case and...
Did you know that Colin Arnott was dead?
Of course not. We saw the police cars as we were leaving the village, but we had no idea what they were doing there.
You didn't think to stop and ask?
Why would we? It's the hostel we're interested in, not the church. The church is of no use to us for accommodation purposes. It's for lease, not for sale.
So, what happened at the meeting?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we're going to have to adjourn for a moment.
Do you think someone's told them what's happened to Colin?
Obviously. I'd hoped the news wouldn't have spread so far so fast.
You know what they're like round here, Marcus. Gossip travels at the speed of light.
I think murder counts as a bit more than gossip, Tilly. We might still get lucky, though. Maybe Colin dying invalidates the planning application or something.
Or maybe they'll wait for Kai Ling to turn up.
Bloody Kyling. I used to have a lot of time for Colin, but ever since he came back with her in tow, it's been like talking to a brick wall.
Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. In respect of application 479 NCC 11, the conversion of the Shillick United Reformed Chapel, and 480 NCC 11, the extension and conversion of the NUM hostel in Shillick, I'm asking the committee to adjourn their decision until the next meeting owing to unforeseen circumstances beyond the control of the applicant. Is that adjournment approved?
Yes.
We had no idea what was going on. We managed to collar one of the council officers and he told us what had happened. We were shocked, weren't we, Tilly?
We couldn't take it in.
What'll happen now with the performance arts project?
I imagine the Dragon Lady will try to keep the project rolling, but he's probably dead in the water now.
When you say Dragon Lady, you mean Mrs. Arnott?
Who else? I always thought she was the driving force behind the project. Colin was a born administrator, not an entrepreneur. And she had him under the thumb, make no mistake about that.
She wore the trousers, would you say?
He did what he was told. According to people who knew him before, he always had bossy girlfriends, even when he was just a teenager.
Yes, well, Kyling might be bossy, but I don't think she's got the clout to take over the project. Colin was the one with the hands-on experience of running an arts centre.
Was that what he'd always done?
He started working front of house in theatre in Newcastle, then worked his way up. Southampton, Antwerp, Singapore, Brisbane, and then Hong Kong.
Then Shillick? That's a bit of a come down, isn't it?
He wanted to come home. He said he was fed up of being the foreigner.
He talked a lot of guff about putting something back. Sanctimonious rubbish. If you ask me, he wanted to be a big fish in a little pond.
If I could just take you back to last night in the pub.
I told you. We didn't fall out. There was no acrimony.
I appreciate that. Did you notice when Mr. Arnott left the pub?
Vaguely. I wasn't paying much attention. Did you notice Tilly?
I had my back to the door. Oh, I heard Kai Ling telling him something about not stopping to talk to every late-night dog walker.
So lots of people could have heard him say he was going back to the church.
I never said that. I never heard that.
But it would be the obvious assumption if they weren't leaving together. It's not like there's many choices of where to go in Shillick at that time of night.
If I'd given it a minute's thought, I suppose I could have worked it out. But I'm not given to analysing every chance remark I hear in the pub.
Exactly.
Luckily, I don't have to rely on eavesdropping for stimulation. Marcus and I still enjoy each other's conversation, even after a decade of marriage.
Did you leave the pub together?
Yes. Our house is 5 doors down from the pub. We saw no one, we heard nothing untoward. We took ourselves off to bed and slept the sleep of the just. If you've no more questions, Inspector, we do have work to do.
We do have work to do. Aye, I bet you flamin' do. Revising your offer for the Miners' Union hostel for a start.
Sometimes I wish I could just arrest people for being obnoxious.
Do you believe them?
I've no reason not to at this point. I'm interested in the business of who could have overheard Colin Arnott in the pub, though. Let's go and take a look at the place.
Oh, you'll get no argument from me on that score.
I don't suppose you'll be buying.
Don't be daft. You've been watching too many episodes of Inspector Morse.
Hotspur Holidays, your choice for the best-kept secret in Britain.
Tilly, it's me, Pamela.
Oh, hi.
Did I just see the police leaving your office?
Yes, they're talking to everyone who was in the pub last night.
What, just because they were drinking in the same place as Colin?
I think they're trying to find out who knew he was going back to the church. I had the sense they don't have much to go on.
It'll all come down to forensics in the end. Like it always does in detective novels these days. So boring compared to the old whodunits. So who do they suspect? Do you know?
Well, obviously they didn't tell us that, Pamela. But we did mention that he was under the thumb, if you get my drift.
Well done, Tilly. We all know something like this would have to be the work of an outsider. Bye now.
Do we, though? Do we really?
Oh, it's a smashing pint, that.
Just because you're going down the tubes doesn't mean you can't keep your ale well.
It's really that bad, is it?
Look around you. How many customers do you see?
Me and the boss?
Exactly. It's hand to mouth these days. The locals use the place, why they have to, where you're lost crack down on the drink driving round here. But there's not enough of them, and they don't spend enough because they're all skint too.
What about the tourists? Don't they boost the takings?
This isn't your picturesque country pub. This used to be a mining village. This was a working man's drinking den. There's not a lot you can do with it. The tourists go up the coast for their pub lunches, and they sit in their rented cottages of an evening with their Jamie Oliver dinners and the supermarket wine they come with.
So did you think the Performance Arts Centre was a better bet?
Well, from what I've heard, dancers and actors and musicians like their drink and they want to be sociable with each other. Colin promised to be no bar or coffee shop on site, so they'd have to come down here. I always think it might even be worth installing one of them fancy Italian coffee machines.
So Colin's death must be a blow to you.
I'm gutted. Make no mistake about it. And not just for business reasons, I really liked Colin. I've known him since he was a lad. But maybe things will work out. Maybe he's Kai Ling and pick up where Colin left off.
For your sake, I hope so too. Do you do rooms?
Yeah, I've got a couple upstairs. See, Colin promised we'd have first dibs on any overspill from the hostel and all. And maybe some sort of deal on the catering for the residential students. It would have been a real shot in the arm for us.
Can we have a look?
I'll just get the keys.
What? Tell me you're not going to do this to me.
I know it's only an hour's drive home, but I like the idea of being right at the heart of this one. This isn't some random act of violence. This murder has its roots in this place, in these people.
Don't tell me you've got a hunch.
You're confusing me with Quasimodo. You know, it makes sense to get a proper feel for the place. Plus, it's good for Phil to have time with the kids, without me looking over his shoulder all the time.
I've got no clean underpants.
Well, you should have come prepared. I've always got an overnight bag in the boot. Just the essentials, mind. Clean underwear, toothbrush, styling mousse.
Aye, I should have learned by now.
But you're a man, love. You can't help it.
Right, there you go. Through the door at the end of the bar upstairs. They're both en suite. Number one's got a better view. You think they're stopping, huh?
Oh, it's a possibility. Last night, when Colin and Kyling were in, was it busy?
We'd been busy earlier, but by that time there was maybe only a dozen or so left.
Did you hear Colin tell Kyling he was going back to the church?
To pick up the architect's drawings? Aye. I heard him. Anybody who was in here could have heard him, I'd say.
And were some of them opponents of the scheme?
I don't really want to get into that. This is my living. These are my customers.
We'll find out soon enough, Peter. In a place like Shillock, nobody gets to keep the secrets for long.
We already know about Marcus and Tilly, Angela from the post office and Tom Briggs.
And I reckon you know all you need to know already.
Really?
You might think this performing arts centre isn't much of a reason for killing a man. But maybe it's the last straw that breaks the camel's back.
What's that supposed to mean, Peter?
Colin Arnott didn't just show up out of nowhere, you know. He had a past right here in the village.
You're saying there were old scores to settle?
I'm saying no more, but ask Tom Briggs, and if he won't tell you, ask Pamela McIntosh. Colin Arnott hasn't just started making enemies in Shillock.
For a man who didn't want to tell us anything, Peter Robson was very informative.
It goes with the territory, Sergeant. Working in a pub, you have to have a talent for gossip and a talent for discretion. The trick is to know when to use them.
So, are we going to do some digging into Colin Arnott's past? Find out whether he really moved away all those years ago for a better job, or because he trod on too many toes in Shillock?
All in good time. First, I want to talk to the rest of the people who were in the pub last night and heard him say he was going back to the church alone. So let's go and see, what's her name in the post office?
Angela Bryman, sub-postmistress and churchwarden of the C.of.E. Parish Church.
It's not the best of times, Chief Inspector. I do have a post office to run, which comes with certain legal liabilities about being open to the public.
Nobody's going to arrest you for closing the post office.
My customers rely on me for the pensions, for their important packages, for their special deliveries. This post office is at the heart of the village, and I, for one, won't be responsible for stopping the beating of a heart.
I didn't say anything about closing the post office, Miss Bryman. I'm perfectly happy...
It's Miss Bryman? None of that Ms. nonsense.
I do apologise. As I said, I'm perfectly happy to talk in between the demands of your customers. Like now, for example. There's nobody here at the moment.
Very well. But I must insist, the needs of my customers come first.
A man's dead, Miss Bryman. I'd have thought that was a bit more pressing than half a dozen first-class stamps.
He's dead, Sergeant. Isn't that the point? How can the service of the dead be more urgent than the service of the living? Important, I grant you, but urgent? Surely not.
You were in the village pub last night, I believe.
Indeed. And I should tell you that my evidence will be more accurate than any other customer, since I am a teetotaler, and I have been all my life. I'm proud to say that not a drop of alcohol has ever passed my lips.
Apart from communion wine, obviously.
Young man, your grasp of theology is painfully inadequate. But this is neither the time nor the place to correct that. The point remains that I was entirely sober and clear-headed last night, as I always am.
Do you mind me asking why you go to the pub if you don't take a drink?
Publicans and sinners were good enough for our Lord, and they are good enough for me. Someone has to bear witness to what goes on in this village. I consider myself a kind of moral compass. I've always hoped that my very presence is enough to give pause to anyone faced with an occasion of sin. If I can make one person think twice before committing an immoral act, then me day's not been wasted.
I imagine you've been very effective over the years.
It's kind of you to say so. But there is nevertheless a great deal of human wickedness, even in a place like Shillock. Take Colin Arnott's death, for example. Such a terrible thing. It cries out for vengeance.
We prefer to think of it as justice.
Justice is mine, saith the Lord. Still, we must do our best. But violent death is a terrible thing. And such a blow for Tom Briggs. He's devoted to that building.
But it's not actually a proper church anymore, right?
Tom understands, as many of us do, that it's still a holy place, whatever the church hierarchy might say. Once a building's been consecrated, I'm of the opinion that it's not our place to deconsecrate it. As it says in the marriage service, what God has brought together, let no man put asunder. But still, even though what Colin planned was sacrilege, killing him in the church is an even greater blasphemy and a terrible shock for Tom.
Maybe more of a shock for Mrs. Arnott, wouldn't you say?
Oh, indeed. So sad for poor Kylie. She's a Christian, you know. You might not think so to look at her, but she was brought up in the faith, which makes it all the more sad that she found herself caught up in this sacrilegious project of Colin's. Hello, Maggie. Shocking news about Colin. What can I do for you?
Oh, it's terrible. I do hope that doesn't mean an end to his big idea. Have you got a form for a driving licence change of address?
Oh, not moving, are you? Personally, I'd be quite happy for it all to die away quietly.
It's for Liam.
There you go.
And for anything that breathes life into the village, Angela. Then maybe young folk like Liam wouldn't have to move away to get work. Bye now.
He's an engineer, Liam. No amount of performance arts centres are going to create jobs for the likes of Liam. Now, where was I?
You were telling us about last night in the pub?
Oh, yes. Well, before Colin and Kyling came in, the conversation was all about whether it was too late to stop the project going ahead. Marcus and Tilly thought they might be able to do something at the planning committee, but that was very much a last-ditch attempt. People were mostly resigned to the fact that it would go ahead. Of course, as it turns out, we had no need to worry. Nothing's going to happen now. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
Every cloud has a silver lining, eh?
I think that's a very heartless thing to say. None of us wished Colin ill.
Are you sure about that?
What on earth do you mean?
When a man is murdered, Miss Bryman, it's pretty clear someone wished him ill. I just wondered if you might have any ideas who that might be.
Of course not. I make it my business not to speak ill of anyone.
Did you hear Colin Arnott say he was planning to go back to the church?
I wasn't paying attention to Colin. I was lost in thought.
And you? When did you leave?
I really couldn't say. As I said, I was lost in thought.
What were you thinking?
The truth? I was thinking how much better it would have been for Shillock if Colin Arnott had stayed away.
Full of the milk of human kindness, as usual, Angela.
You were no happier than I was about his plans for the church.
Maybe so, but not for the same reasons. I don't have your sentimental attachment to church buildings. We haven't met. I'm Pamela McIntosh, and you must be Inspector Bethany.
Detective Chief Inspector. And I'm Detective Sergeant Hodgson.
Oh, sorry to demote you, Chief Inspector. I hear you're tracking down all of us who were at the pub last night. Checking out our alibis, am I right?
Something like that. And I do want to talk to you.
Is it all right if I buy a book of stamps first?
Be my guest.
A dozen first class, Angela. I'm her alibi, by the way. I left the pub a few minutes after Angela, and I followed her down Percy Street. She stopped looking at the windows of number 23, where Paddy and Sandra Brennan sometimes forget to close their curtains before they snuggle down on the sofa to watch the telly.
Pamela, I did no such thing. Here.
Thanks. Better admit it, Angela. Like I said, I'm your alibi.
I may have paused to admire the starry night, but I'm not some kind of peeping Tom. Really, Pamela, you should think before you speak.
Like you do. What do you think the Chief Inspector made of you saying it would have been better if Colin hadn't come back? Why do you think you need an alibi?
Don't be silly. Nobody could imagine for a moment that I could kill a man. Look at us. There's nothing of us.
There's more than one way to skin a cat. And you really hated what he wanted to do with the church.
So did you. I've heard you often enough saying you shouldn't have brought that Chinese woman to live here. It's one of your pet hobby horses. You're always going on about it. Really, Pamela, you hate the idea of people coming here that are different to you.
They don't belong here, the likes of Kyling Arnott. We don't need a multicultural performance space in Shillick. We need proper jobs for local people, tourism, fishing, that sort of thing. But he was so set on those residential courses. That was my beef with Colin. I've not been going around talking about him as if he was the Antichrist.
Never.
I need some cigarettes, Angela.
The usual? Kyling, I'm so sorry about Colin. Such a tragedy, and such a bright young man. We were just saying...
A terrible shock, Mrs. Arnott. You must feel very alone so far from home.
Alone? In Shilwick, where everyone is your friend. How can this be, Mrs. McIntosh? Thank you, Angela. Good luck, Police Inspector. If there's anything else I can help you with, please call.
I didn't even know she smoked. Of course, I should have realised they all do, don't they, the Chinese? Smoking and spitting, apparently. Filthy habits.
I thought she was very gracious. It's not easy, you know, facing people after a sudden loss. I bet she doesn't even know what the formalities are. Registering the death, funerals and the like. I'd better go round after I shut up shop and talk her through it all.
Christ, Angela, can't you give the poor woman time to breathe before you drown her in Christian charity?
I don't know why you're so hateful, Pamela.
Oh, there's just so much opportunity for practising in Shillick.
If you don't mind, we'll walk with you, Mrs. McIntosh.
Please yourself. I'm going down to my workshop. That'll be handy for you if you're really talking to everyone from the pub last night. I rent the old boathouse next to Bob Brandison. You can kill two birds with one stone.
Oh, I love it here. This is England. The North Sea, the hills behind us, all the greens and greys. That's why I love working with silver. It feels part of the landscape. Silver and sea pebbles, silver and sea glass.
It must get pretty wild in winter.
Every day's different. And that's all the change we need. All these immigrants, they don't understand what makes us who we are. It wouldn't be so bad if they left their customs and cultures at the border and took to our way of life, but they don't. They want us to adapt to them, not the other way round. Mark my words, if this performance arts centre ever took off, we'd be swamped by everything but Northumbrian culture.
You've lived here a long time, then?
I studied fine art at Newcastle and fell in love with this coast. I've lived here for 32 years.
You must remember Colin Arnott growing up.
He was a nice lad, Colin. Relied a bit too much on his charm, but that's not the worst fault a young man can have.
We've heard he left under a bit of a cloud all those years ago.
Really? I wonder who would have said such a thing.
Someone who suggested you were the person we should talk to about it.
You make it sound incredibly sinister, Chief Inspector.
So what was it, if it wasn't sinister?
One of those situations that happens everywhere, every day. The kind of thing that seems like the end of the world at the time, but of course it's just another sordid little story.
I think you better tell us about it, Pamela.
Hello?
It's time to go back where you came from.
Who is this? I think you got the wrong number.
Time to go home, darling. You're not wanted here.
I'm not somebody you can scare so easy.
No, we've got plenty of other ways to scare the living daylights out of you.
You think you get rid of me like this?
Please yourself. Go home, or you'll end up like Colin.
Oh my God.
This is where I make my work.
The sea on one side, Beacon Hill on the other.
Colin Arnott, Mrs. McIntosh.
He was a handsome boy, Colin. He didn't wear well, it must be said, but in his late teens and early 20s he was definitely a good-looking young man. He always had a girlfriend in tow, though they never lasted long. There was a good reason for that.
And the reason was?
They were camouflage, so nobody would suspect what was really going on.
And that was what, exactly?
He was having an affair with Karen Briggs.
Who is Karen Briggs?
At the time, she was married to Tom Briggs, but Colin Arnott was her toy boy. I imagine it was great fun while it lasted. Then Tom found out, and it definitely wasn't fun anymore.
This is DCI Marion Bethany. I'm sorry I can't speak to you right now, but leave a message and I'll get back to you.
Call me as soon as you can, Police Inspector. I need to speak to you. This is Kailing Arnott, wife of the murder victim.
Kailing.
Oh, my God.
I just wanted to say...
You startled me, Marcus.
Sorry. I just wanted to say how sad I was to hear about Colin.
I thought you'd be pleased.
Of course not. Please don't think that for a moment. Nobody's pleased about Colin's death.
But you're happy because you think the village SOS project will go away now.
That's not what people are thinking about right now. Colin was one of ours. A lot of people in the village have known him since he was a child. We can separate who he was from what he did. We're grieving just like you are.
I don't think so. And I will tell you one thing, Marcus. I will dedicate myself to making Colin's dream come true.
That's very admirable, Kailing, but it's a waste of time. The planning committee will meet again in 4 weeks, and this time they'll throw out the plans, because Colin was the person with the expertise, and he's not here anymore.
I have expertise too.
But you're not from around here, are you, pet? You don't know what strings to pull. Now, have the police told you when you can have the funeral?
So what happened when Tom Briggs found out his wife was having an affair with Colin Arnott?
There was a lot of shouting in the street and public bad behaviour. Bear in mind that we didn't have multi-channel telly back then. It was great entertainment. Sadly, it didn't last long. Colin moved out of the village practically overnight. He'd left Newcastle for a job in Southampton within 3 months.
And Karen Briggs? What happened to her and Tom?
She stuck it out for a few months, then she left him. Some people thought she'd gone off with Colin, but I never did. I remember how shocked she was by the way Colin took off like that and left her to face the music alone. I think it was more that she'd just had enough of Tom.
And how did Tom react when Colin came back to Shillick?
With complete indifference. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it couldn't have been less melodramatic. The thing is, after Karen took off, Tom started going out with one of the other teachers from school, and they got married as soon as he could get a divorce from Karen. Apparently she was more than happy to sign the papers.
So he didn't bear a grudge towards Colin?
Quite the opposite. I've heard him say Colin did him a favour.
Well, the goodwill doesn't seem to have lasted. He sounds quite hostile to the idea of the Performance Arts Centre.
Well, of course he is. He's the church caretaker. Or perhaps I should say the building formerly known as a church. That little job defines his place in village life. Now he's retired, it's become his identity. Take that away, what have you got? Another old man with no role.
And that's what it's all about, his hostility.
That, and the money.
What money?
Technically, the centre would be run by a community committee, put together by Colin, of course. But the company supplying most of the performance arts courses is run by Kailing. Didn't you know?
Nobody mentioned it.
That surprises me. Tom and me are not the only ones angry that all this public money is being spent to benefit someone who's got no connection to Shillick.
Well, she lives here. She married somebody from here. Doesn't that count as a connection?
When the news of the grant money first came through, Colin talked as if it was all going to benefit the community. But one or two of us started asking questions, and we didn't like the answers.
Well, I can understand why.
Frankly, I'd have been less surprised if someone had murdered her.
Murder isn't something to be flippant about, Mrs. McIntosh. A man has been killed in Shillick today, and the person who killed him is still at large.
I'm sorry. You're right, of course.
Did you hear Colin Arnott tell his wife he was going back to the church?
As it happens, I did. But I didn't do anything about it. I was fed up with Colin, but I knew there was no point in giving him a piece of my mind. I'd already tried that and got nowhere. So I finished my drink and walked home down Percy Street. Not quite hot on Angela's heels, but close enough to vouch for her.
But nobody to vouch for you.
Other than my witnessing Angela's nosy parkering? No. My husband was playing bridge in Hexham. He didn't get home till after midnight, so I'm afraid I have an hour or so without an alibi. But I had no motive.
You want Kai Ling out of Shillick?
Chief Inspector, I am a direct sort of person. I call a spade a spade. If I'd wanted rid of Kai Ling that badly, I'd have killed her, not Colin. I liked Colin. And besides, there's no guarantee that she'll leave. They'd bought a house here, and she might still try and get the blasted Performance Arts Centre off the ground. No, I think we might be stuck with her for a bit longer. More's the pity.
What do you think, Sergeant?
There's plenty of ill feeling around, that's for sure. Plenty of means and opportunity too. Nobody's got much of an alibi. The question is, who's got enough anger and enough strength?
Well, the answer to one might be the answer to the other.
What?
Enough anger might provoke enough strength.
Oh, aye. Right. I love it when you go all profound on me.
DCI Bethany?
Somebody called me and told me if I didn't go back to China, they'd kill me.
Is that you, Mrs. Arnott?
Yes, it's me. I told you, some woman threatened me on the phone. She said it was time for me to go or else they would do what they did to Colin.
Did you recognise the voice?
No, she was whispering. This was bad, Inspector. I was frightened.
I understand. Where are you now?
In my house.
I'd like you to wait there for one of my officers to come and take a statement. We'll take care of you.
I'm not going anywhere.
Kai Ling's just had a threatening phone call. We need to get a warrant to get her phone records.
Oh, bloody phone companies take weeks.
I know, but we have to try. Get one of the uniforms to go round and take a statement. There's not much else we can do.
I'll text Geordie Pattinson. What did you think about Pamela McIntosh's story? About the old love affair?
I can't see anyone nursing a grudge for all those years and then conveniently choosing the night before the final planning meeting to vent his rage. I think if Tom Briggs had been going to deck Colin Arnott, it would have happened the first time he showed his face in the pub.
Aye, I see your point.
Come on then. Got one last opponent from the pub to check out. Let's see what Mr. Bob Brandison has to say for himself. Mr. Brandison! Mr. Brandison!
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
We're from Northumbria Police. We need to talk to you.
Just a minute. That's better. Did you say you were from the police? What's this about, Colin Arnott? Shocking business. Really shocking. It's not what you expect round here.
You were in the pub last night, I believe.
I like a pint or two most nights. Thirsty work, this.
What exactly is it you do, Mr. Brandison?
Well, might be easier to answer what I don't do. I make parts for machines that the manufacturers have given up on. Mend engines. Bit of light engineering, plant hire, digging foundations. I'm the bloke you come to when you don't know who else to go to.
Plenty of variety, then.
Aye. Well, it suits me fine. I started down the pit, but I never liked being underground. I like being able to see the sea.
I hear you weren't very happy about the Village SOS project.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be breathing new life into the community, not just bringing more folk in for a fancy holiday. They don't keep the place alive. Now, you see those waves out there?
Yeah.
Well, I love the sea, but it's not my friend. Every year, the high tides get higher. In a couple of years, they'll be lapping at my front door. So, when I heard about the Village SOS idea, I thought, yeah, that's the ticket. Enough money to do things properly. Take over the old chapel and turn it into a workshop, training school leavers in practical skills.
Such as?
Like carpentry, plumbing, mechanical engineering. The sort of things a young person could parlay into a lifetime's work. I thought that's what they meant by building communities.
But the grant committee liked Colin Arnott's idea better.
Well, he knew the language.
How to write a proposal, how to do PowerPoint. I would never have stood a chance. No point in even bothering. So I've got to live with a disappearing workshop while the dancers and the bloody acrobats prance about in the chapel.
Well, that'd make you bitter.
You sound local, son.
Sego.
Aye, well, you'll know how much bitterness we've all had to swallow around here over the years. It was just another dose of the same old, same old.
How did you feel about Colin Arnott? With him being from round here, did it feel like he'd betrayed you?
That wasn't personal. Colin didn't do his thing to spite me. And he was very good about promising the work to me. There's plenty round here could do the work faster, me being just a one-man band. But Colin said he wanted to use local labour. You know, he was so sure the planning committee would give him the go-ahead. He got me to take me digger up on Monday, ready to start as soon as they said go. But yeah, I was pretty fed up about it.
Fed up enough to do something about it?
Don't be soft. If I was that mad, I would have killed him before the Grant Committee meeting, before his idea even got off the ground. Not now. Not with the money already allocated.
You don't think this'll kill the Performing Arts Centre off?
They'll find someone else to be the front man. Maybe even Kyling. Who knows what that lass has got up her sleeve?
What's that supposed to mean?
Just that she's a clever lass. Doesn't say much, but when she does, it's generally worth listening to. Now look, if there's nought else, I need to crack on. I've got some guttering brackets to make for one of Marcus's cottages.
Just one thing. Did you hear Colin say he was going back to the church when he left the pub?
Well, I couldn't help hearing him. I was on my way out the door ahead of him, so I was better placed than most.
Where did you go?
I went home. Where else would I go? Ah, what, you don't think I killed Colin, do you? Yeah, it's no wonder all them rapists and robbers get away with it if that's the way you go about your job. Whoever killed Colin, it wasn't someone from Shillick.
Whoever killed Colin was in Shillick last night.
Yeah, well, it doesn't mean they belong here. Well, I've got work to do.
He's got the strength. The cast iron pipe would be like an umbrella to him.
All that we know about bitterness here. Oh, it sets my teeth on edge. It's like a parody of itself.
When we were bairns, all we had to eat was cool. That sort of thing.
Exactly. You know, I don't think Bob Branderson is nearly as relaxed as he makes out about Colin winning the grant.
I wondered about that too. He's got everything to lose. That's a fantastic workshop he's got there, and it's all going to disappear.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'd be fed up with the village golden boy coming back out of nowhere with his fancy ideas.
Oh, I don't know. We've got sacker motives and no witnesses. More windows of opportunity than the biker wall. I'm beginning to think this is going to be one of those cases that gets solved by forensics and their magic bag of CSI tricks. We'll soon be redundant, you and me. Hello, Mr. Robson. You managed to escape for a bit then?
Oh, the wife's holding the fort. Not that anybody round here wants a drink this time of day, but I was in too much of a state to stay still.
What's happened?
I popped out to get some milk. I ran into Kyling. She said Marcus had told her the project's dead in the water. He's as good as said he's got the planning committee in his pocket, so that's that. We're screwed.
Oh, I think it's too early to be thinking in those terms, Mr. Robson. Everyone's upset today. People say things sometimes.
What do you know about it, eh? You've only been here 5 minutes. I hate Marcus Francis, but I'd take his word ahead of yours when it comes to those time servers on the planning committee. It's all over.
Mr. Robson...
Hey, that's the only thing that's been keeping us going. The only thing that's been keeping the bank away from our door. Oh, we've had it now.
Well, surely there must be somebody who can take over the project. Mrs. Arnott, maybe. Or somebody she knows. You can't just give up, man.
That's easy for you to say. You don't know how hard it's been. Keeping a brave face on because you don't want to drive the punters away. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. We're done for.
You've got to keep hoping. We're going to find the person who killed Colin Arnott.
Who cares? It's too late for us now. The person who killed Colin killed Shillick too.
Well, that was pretty good.
Yeah, anything I haven't cooked myself tastes like heaven to me. Get us another drink, John. I've said goodnight to the kids, to Bill. I'm off duty and I am off the hook.
Happy to oblige, Marion. Oh, by the way, we've got the warrant for the mobile phones, so we should know who made the threatening call to Kyling sometime this year.
I think the word murder would speed him up a bit. It's like trying to get a drink round here.
Right, I'm on my way.
Hi there. Quite a bit of a small glass of house wine. Forensics.
Bettany here. Have you got any preliminary info for us?
There's no usable prints on the drain pipe. The surface is rubbish. Flake and cast iron doesn't lend itself to taking a good print.
Was he wearing gloves, do you think?
No fibres, so probably not. I'm going to have a good crack at DNA tomorrow, but don't hold your breath.
Not exactly CSI Shillick, are we?
Aye, well, you're not Helen Mirren either, are you, pet?
Fair enough. Keep me posted if you get anything.
Well, there's no sign of mine horse this evening. He's left his wife holding the fort.
Cheers.
Cheers. Not that that's a tall order.
Yeah, I thought it would be busier in here tonight. Swapping gossip, huddling together against the bogeyman.
I think we're the bogeyman. Aye, they're probably up on Bacon Hill building the Wicker Man as we speak.
Who do you fancy then?
I'm a simple country lad. I always like the spouse. What about you?
I don't know. Trying to stop an arts project doesn't feel like a motive to me. Even if it's supposed to be the arts that are regenerating the whole area. But I can't see another obvious reason to kill Colin Arnott.
And I thought you didn't care about motive.
When all else fails, I'm willing to be flexible, Sergeant. Right. I think I'm going to take this drink up to bed with me. Snuggle down, listen to the radio.
You really know how to live, boss.
You have no idea.
Police inspector!
What?
Wake up!
Well, who is it?
Police inspector!
Get up! Yeah, I'm coming.
Something's happening. Open the door!
Kylene, what's the matter?
You get dressed, you come with me.
What the? What? What's going on?
Up at the church, where Colin was killed. There's lights on, and machines. You have to come.
Give me a minute. I need to get dressed.
It sounds like a digger or a bulldozer. Something like that.
Whatever. How did you... Did it wake you up? Oh no, it couldn't have done. You live at the other end of the village.
I couldn't sleep. So I got up and got dressed and went for a walk on the beach. I saw the lights and thought maybe it was a police thing. Something to do with Colin. When I got closer, I heard the noise. Then I see it's Bob Brandison's digger. I know he took it up on Monday so it would be ready for the work, but it shouldn't be digging now, unless it's you people. But no police anywhere.
So you came and got us.
Is this the wrong thing? Do you already know about this?
You totally did the right thing, Mrs. Arnott. Whatever's going on at the church, it's got nothing to do with us.
One night away from the kids. And proper night's sleep. Is that too much to ask, John?
Apparently. Oh my God. He's digging a trench straight up the middle of the churchyard.
That's where the foundations for the extension are supposed to go.
Is that Peter Robson?
I think so.
Oh, come on, we need to get this sorted out before the whole village turns up to see what's going on.
We've got to go on! We can't stop now! We've got to make it happen! We've got to stop! Ain't no stop now! We're going to make it happen! We shall not be moved! We shall overcome!
This isn't the way to do it, Peter!
We shall overcome!
Stop this right now! This ends right here, right now!
Get out of the way, you silly bitch!
No, boss! Get back! It's not gonna...
Stop. Oh, well.
It's all right, Peter. Let it all out. It'll be okay. It's not over, I promise you.
What the heck's going on here? There's enough noise to waken the dead. Peter, what are you doing? Have you taken leave of your senses, man? It's the middle of the blooming night.
Are you all right? Marion, can you stand?
It's just mud, John. It's just mud.
You had me scared there for a minute.
Grow up, man. You sound like a woman's magazine. Mr. Briggs, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? I'm the church caretaker. Where else would I be? The noise woke us up and I saw the lights. I didn't want a repeat of last night.
None of you move. I've called the police. They'll be here at any minute.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Pamela, the police are here already.
Mrs. Arnott, what on earth is going on?
Peter's a bit upset, that's all.
Mrs. McIntosh, can I borrow your torch? I need to get out of this bloody trench.
Give me a hand.
I'm fine. I just need to see where I'm putting my feet. It's pitch black over here. Here you are.
I'll hold it for you.
Oh, God, it's the skull. I'm standing on a skeleton. Give me your hand, Dodgson. Get me out of here.
Come on.
Mr. Robson, get a grip and bring one of those arc lights over here. And be careful not to disturb the trench anymore. Sergeant, get on the phone and get a full CSI team down here with uniform backup.
Yes, boss.
That must have been there for years. I've heard it said that the chapel was built on the site of a much older church. There must have been a graveyard too.
Where do you want this?
Over to the right a bit.
Oh, my. Thought I was going to have a heart attack. It's definitely a skull. No doubt about it.
Step away from the edge, please, Mrs. McIntosh. We don't want any more accidents.
That body's not from any grave. Look, there's no sign of a coffin. It's just been laid in earth. That's no Christian burial.
Well, the coffin could have rotted away over the years. Oh, we don't know what we're talking about. We're not blooming archaeologists, Peter.
I know one thing. Look at the skull. The top of it's all smashed in, just like Colin. It's another murder victim. 2 of them in the same place. What do you have to say to that, Police Inspector?
I won't deny it's a peculiar coincidence, but we've no way of knowing how old these bones are. Like Mr. Briggs said, they could date back hundreds of years. Now, will you all please move away from the edge?
How can it be coincidence? Is this one of your local customs, smashing people's skulls?
Now, you're just being silly. Look, come on, step back, all of you.
What's that down there? It looks like something silver catching the light.
Oh, don't be daft, you're imagining things.
Let me see.
Look, you've been told, step back from the edge. I don't want to have to arrest you all for obstruction, but I will if I have to.
Wait, Sergeant, give me my torch again.
What?
It looks like a piece of jewellery. This is what I know about. My area of expertise. I could save you time and money. Isn't that what you have to worry about in the police these days?
Oh, let her have a look. If this is a crime scene, it's already contaminated beyond redemption.
Oh, no. Oh, Tom, what have you done?
What you on about, Pamela? You're always playing the drama queen.
It's a bracelet. More of a bangle, really. A blue sea glass set in a wide silver band in the shape of a delphinium leaf.
You can see all that from here.
No, but I can see enough to identify the piece, because I made it. It was a commission. A unique piece. There's not another like it anywhere. Is there, Tom?
Don't listen to her. She's always got to be the centre of attention. She'll spin a yarn, and when it turns out to be rubbish, she'll pretend it was an honest mistake.
I made that bangle for Karen Briggs for her 30th birthday, 3 years before she supposedly left her husband. That's right, isn't it, Tom?
I don't know. I can't say it like you can. But if that's the bracelet you're talking about, Colin took it with him when he left. She gave it to him to remember her by.
I don't think so. She was in no mood for giving him keepsakes. She was too angry with him for leaving her in the lurch after you found out she was sleeping with him.
That's not true. When she left me, she went to him, but he dumped her. Well, that's what she told me when I tracked her down to get her to sign the divorce papers.
You must have forged them. What? That's more like it.
That's slander! Nobody questioned the signature on those papers. Not the lawyer, not the court, nobody. Because it was Karen's signature. She left me for Colin Arnott.
That's not true. He ran from her. He didn't want to spend his life with her. That's why he went away from Shilwick.
I don't care what he told you. She moved down south to be with Colin. Then he dumped her. That's what happened.
So how did her bangle end up buried behind the church with a human skeleton?
I don't think you're being honest with us, Tom. The real story is that Karen never left Shilwick. That she's down there at the bottom of that trench. And when Bob drove up here with his digger on Monday, you realised the foundations for the extension ran right through the middle of Karen's makeshift grave. You panicked.
Oh, this is a sick fantasy. I'm not a killer. Ask anyone round here.
You panicked. You realised your only hope was to derail the village SOS project. And the obvious way to do that was to kill Colin Arnott.
You killed my Colin the same way you killed her.
Come away.
Oh, you broke his head because you were scared we'd find out what you'd done. You killed Colin because you thought it would stop the project. So was it worth it? You bastard! Was it worth it?
Oh, God, what a shambles. Tom Briggs, I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything, but anything you do...
I'm sorry I wasn't in court for the sentencing.
Being here at the opening ceremony was definitely the better option.
Will I be happy with the sentence?
That depends how vengeful you are. Briggs got 2 life sentences and a recommendation he serves 30 years. At his age, that's a whole life tariff.
That's fine with me.
We'll never know for sure what happened with Karen, but the jury didn't believe him. They were sure he murdered her in cold blood.
I'm glad it's over now. It's been a hard year, trying to carry on Colin's work. But we're open now, and we're almost fully booked for the first 3 months. Everything from opera improv to contemporary dance for beginners. Absolutely nothing that would interest Sergeant Hodgson.
And what about Tilly Francis? No regrets about dropping the charges against her?
She made one stupid phone call. We're all entitled to one mistake. And everybody knows it was her. I think everyone's embarrassed that somebody in the village would be so cruel.
So have you had much support from the village?
You'd be amazed. It's like they felt they had to make up for what Tom Briggs did. Half the people on the management board were against the centre when Colin first proposed it. Now, Angela's the treasurer and Pamela's teaching weekend jewellery design courses.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'll admit, I thought the whole idea of Village SOS was doomed to failure. I mean, you can't force people to be a community, after all. But something's happened here that's really special. Sad thing is, it took your husband's murder to save Shillick.
Even so, I still feel Colin's presence every time I walk in the door. Come on. Come inside and see our Northumbrian contemporary dance group.
In Village SOS by Val McDermid, DCI Bettany was played by Helen Baxendale and D.S. Hodgson by David Seddon. Kyling Arnott was played by Liz Sutherland, Colin Arnott by Anthony Byrne, and Pamela McIntosh by Elaine Claxton. Tilly Francis was played by Rachel Bavage, Marcus Francis by Adrian Grove, Tom Briggs by Christian Rodsker, and Peter Robson by Sean Prendergast. Angela Bryman was played by Lynn Fairbairn, and Bob Branderston by Bill Fellows. It was directed in Birmingham by Fiona Kelcher.